So, you can't open either door from the outside. It rains a lot in Ireland, and the only way to get into the car is by leaving the windows open. And the key is snapped in the ignition. So, this is how small problems become big ones. Firstly, I want to give a huge thank you to Ansel for sponsoring this video. This isn't my car, it belongs to a customer, a woman probably in her 50s, and I know that she didn't swing out of the door handles like in a fit of rage or anything like that. The car does get used all times of year, summer and winter, and in this instance what happened is it actually got frozen over, and when she went to open the doors, the handles failed on both sides. So that kind of left a bit of a problem. Now, fortunately enough, one didn't fail exactly at the same time as the other, so she was able to get the window down to be able to open the door from the outside. But now the seats are sopping wet as well. And she got into the car and the key snapped in the ignition. So I'd say she kind of felt, well, the hits just keep on coming with this. And unfortunately that's sometimes the way things go when you're talking about classic car motoring, especially if you're dailying it. Like, this car is well over 30 years old at this stage, so it's done its time, and a lot is being asked of it, and it's delivering most of the time. But you do have to consider the fact that these things can sometimes happen. Now, as I said, the seats are sopping wet. I've had it in the garage for the last couple of days in an effort to try and dry it out for her. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the door handles off and replace them. Interestingly, both of these door handles actually failed in different ways. The screw is just missing along with the spring on this, so when you pull the handle, it's got nothing to act on, it's just moving the thing sideways instead of it being a kind of a bell crank sort of thing. And that's the passenger side one. I'll show you now what the story is, the driver's side one. On the driver's side, the piece that comes through from this and goes onto this kind of lever here is after braking. Now, to me that actually looks quite flimsy. I mean, I know it being a kind of a lightweight sports car, stuff is supposed to be lightweight in it and all that, and that's well and good, but that to me is just, I wonder how many Mazda MX-5s have the same problem. But anyway, look, the solution is to replace the door handle. That's the only thing you can do, but and that is what we will be doing. But yeah, I mean, it's not great, is it? Okay, well anyway, look, Robert Maguire came good for the parts. Chap I buy a lot of parts off if you're in Ireland, great guy to buy parts from. So I was able to buy a couple of door handles off him, which was great, and I just have to change out the lock barrels. Now what I'm going to do with these lock barrels is I'm going to put them in the ultrasonic bath, give them a good clean, and then we can spray them with a bit of light oil because they're fairly crusty and they've just got 30 years of built up dirt on them. So that's going to take an extra bit of force from the key as well. So the key has been weakened by that, and it was in the ignition switch that it actually broke off. Now, the broken piece is actually in the ignition. You can still use it with the broken off piece, but not really great, is it? This is not doing the damn thing. I'll leave it in, but... Right, okay, now let's see. Hey! That's the job. It's just a bit of paint marker residue left on the door handle, so I am just going to give it a rub. Steel wool is brilliant for polishing chrome. See that? Perfect. Nice. And have the other side done too. When everything is as it should be, those door handles are absolutely perfect for the car. They're lightweight, they're slimline design and everything like that, and they're perfect. But there's no margin in the design really, so when things go wrong, they go wrong, and that little lever is quite flimsy. It's not badly designed, it's narrowly designed, I suppose you could say. So, like as in not having that margin for when things go wrong. In California or Japan or wherever, this is absolutely fine. These door handles will probably last another 10-15 years or whatever in a car over there, but stick a bit of ice on them and lack of maintenance and lubrication inside in the locking mechanism, coupled with maybe a broken spring or something like that just from fatigue, and all of a sudden you're locked out of your car. It's the depths of winter, and cars that don't get used very often, or cars with tired batteries, can often struggle when you finally do decide to start them. That's where this comes in. This is the Ansel BS200 Super Starter. This isn't a booster pack. This is a permanently installed supercapacitor system that sits alongside your car battery and supplements the power when you go to start. I have it installed in my Beetle. When you turn the key and the starter motor pulls a big current, this steps in, dumps its energy into the starter and takes the strain off the old lead acid battery. Once the engine's running, it recharges itself again. If you ever need to, it can be charged via USB-C, but in normal use it'll slowly charge itself from the car battery, even if that battery is very low. There's also a Bluetooth app which gives you live information on its state of charge and your battery voltage, along with a few other useful stats. I've included a link in the description below to the Amazon store where you can purchase one of these gizmos. I'm going to be installing this one permanently into my Beetle actually, because that's where I think it will be of most benefit to me. Right, let's get back inside and back to that Mazda. Now that we have the door handle sorted out, I do still have to refit the door cards. I'll do that off camera. Let's get the ignition switch sorted out. So we need to take out the entire lock barrel, so that it requires a bit of disassembly. It's pretty straightforward. Take the cowling off. The only two things you need to be aware of are the two shear bolts on the top of it. You're going to need something like a chisel or whatever, or something with a sharp point to catch the edge of them, to get them started. And once they're starting to get loose, then you can get them the rest of the way with your fingers, and you just take the switch off the back and the barrel comes out. So let's do that. Broken key. Right, I'm going to bring this down to a locksmith who should hopefully be able to remove the key and cut a new one for me. I'll probably get 3 keys cut for it, because the keys in this car are seriously flimsy. A very skinny bit near the top. It's the same with my wife's Mazda, the silver one that you could see off camera. And yeah, it's broken 2 keys already, you know, it's just a pain in the face. To be honest with you, if there was a solution for it where you could actually just replace the key with a different design or whatever, I'd strongly consider it. Case in point, when talking about broken keys, there's also a key broken off in the boot lock here. So to remove that, you have to take the rear light out, and you have to take this kind of trim panel off here as well, and then take it off from the inside. Bit of spannering, but not a massive ordeal. And when I'm going down to the locksmith, I may as well bring this with me as well and get them to sort that out too. And we're back from the locksmiths, and I now have this working, and I have refitted the boot lock. Happy days. I put it in upside down the first time around, but I did that off camera and put it right. So it's good now, it works. So I'm just going to refit the light and get this all buttoned up, the little panel that goes around it, and then I can get this put back in, and then we're pretty much done. If you aren't able to get new shear bolts, just cut a slot in the old ones and put them back in. They'll do fine. Okay, that ignition is working perfectly. Now I just need to get the steering column cowling back on, and we are in business. I have a bit of a misfire in this actually, I must have a look at that as well. Okay, so that's everything sorted. The door's open, the locks move freely, and the key's no longer trying to live permanently in the ignition, which means this MX-5 can go back to doing what it does best, being great crack to drive, small, light, and an absolute pleasure to drive, rather than a test of the owner's patience.